They thought they won. Now the narcissist is paying the price for losing you. Have you considered the daily challenges a narcissist faces after letting you go? Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're exploring an essential subject for all those who have been chosen for deeper insights. Narcissists often act based on deceit and manipulation, lacking the genuine emotions and intentions that empathetic individuals possess. As empaths, we approach the world with sincerity, but it's essential to stop interpreting a narcissist's actions through the same lens of authenticity we use for ourselves. Their behavior is often calculated to maintain control, not a reflection of true emotions. Narcissists frequently struggle with self-doubt and anxiety, even though they may seem indifferent when they end relationships. They often question their choices and prepare for various outcomes, making their actions seem cold but rooted in their insecurities. Understanding this helps us approach these situations with caution, knowing their decisions may not reflect their true feelings. Many people fall into the trap of chasing a narcissist after being rejected, which only strengthens the narcissist's decision to withdraw. However, through the pain of rejection, we can find strength. By staying true to ourselves and working to mend relationships, we've learned to say no more when necessary, protecting our integrity and growing stronger in the process. When we respond to others, it's often with sincerity and genuine intent. In our relationships, we act from a place of authenticity and empathy. So, if a situation spirals out of control or we pursue someone who later proves toxic, we shouldn't blame ourselves. It's natural for empathetic people to try to connect, even with narcissists. Narcissists, however, operate very differently. They often hide their true intentions and communicate in vague ways. Their behavior is rarely straightforward, making interactions with them feel complex and unclear. When they distance themselves or claim they no longer want the relationship, it's often a tactic to test your reactions or manipulate the situation. This push and pull dynamic helps them maintain control. In most cases, a narcissist doesn't genuinely want to end the relationship. Instead, they escalate conflicts to the point where reconciliation feels difficult, trapping both parties in a cycle of tension. They may even seek new emotional connections while still dealing with the fallout of their actions, a behavior known as monkey branching. This can leave them feeling regretful and tormented by their choices. Deep emotional conflicts often give rise to feelings of regret. Individuals exhibiting narcissistic traits constantly battle their own fears, unresolved issues, and hidden struggles, which they project onto those in their vicinity. Overwhelmed by external demands, they frequently contend with inner chaos. It's essential to grasp that these people typically embody harmful characteristics at their core. When we connect with them, we may unknowingly engage with these negative qualities, as their contentment frequently stems from unhealthy thoughts and actions. This message is meant to provide clarity, not to cause pain. It's important to understand that the chaos a narcissist brings into your life is not your fault. Many empathetic and spiritually aware people tend to take on the blame for the emotional harm caused by others, feeling guilty for things beyond their control. However, the narcissist's inner turmoil existed long before they discarded or distanced themselves from you. Their ongoing struggle with doubts and choices is part of their nature and doesn't reflect your value. Recognizing the signs of a narcissist's emotional distress can help you understand the inner conflict they face. Their actions often lack conviction, and they seem uncertain about their decisions. This uncertainty is a clear sign of their internal struggles, revealing the emotional upheaval they experience. A personal example involves a narcissist just before a major court hearing. As I was preparing to leave, I saw them crying, though I didn't realize at the time that they were anticipating the possible end of our relationship. Their tears showed their anxiety, but instead of being open about their feelings, they appeared distracted. It became clear later that they were likely preparing to smear my name to those in positions of power. It's crucial to recognize that narcissists express their internal strife in various forms. For instance, a male narcissist may not visibly cry, yet still exhibit signs of profound inner turmoil. Ultimately, these indicators reflect their emotional pain, and it is vital to acknowledge them as part of their complicated identity. As you ponder your experiences with a narcissist, take time to identify these signals from your past. You may discover that the points I've raised linger beneath the surface. If we only perceive the situation through the narcissist's perspective, we risk absorbing their negative assessments of ourselves. They may insist that we possess no value, accuse us of being the primary source of their troubles, or voice regret about our connection. Accepting these claims at face value can plunge us into despair, making us feel unworthy or persuading us that they would thrive without our presence. This mindset is harmful and can easily lead to self-pity. It's crucial to see through this facade. Recognizing that we are confronting a narcissist, an individual adept at manipulation, enables us to scrutinize their statements with doubt. Their attempts to diminish us, assertions of our shortcomings, and tactics aimed at ruining our character are all part of a malicious plot designed to erode our self-worth. For instance, when they launch personal attacks, their goal is to damage our reputation and shape how others perceive us. This approach does not reflect who we truly are. Instead, it is a calculated effort intended to undermine us and lower our value in the eyes of others. The narcissist aims to craft a narrative that portrays us as the villain, ultimately fulfilling their need for control and superiority. When you find yourself in a situation where everything feels at risk, be it your career, family relationships, or dealings with authorities such as law enforcement or legal entities, it can feel like an assault on your character, threatening both your reputation and self-esteem. When a narcissist asserts that you are inadequate, it is merely a superficial strategy that masks a deeper issue. At first glance, it appears to be a smear campaign designed to erode your confidence and self-worth. However, upon closer inspection, it reveals itself as an act of character assassination. The narcissist utilizes these tactics to project their insecurities onto you, intending to inflict the same emotional pain and self-doubt they grapple with internally. This behavior is often intensified by a phenomenon known as reactive abuse. This term refers to how a narcissist can instigate a specific reaction in you, and then turn that reaction into evidence of your supposed flaws or instability. When you respond to their provocations, they twist your reactions into a story that supports their accusations of your inadequacy. For example, when a narcissist claims, "I don't find you appealing," or "you're not deserving of my time," they aren't expressing genuine feelings about you. Rather, they are revealing their own deep insecurities. These remarks highlight their inner struggles as they contend with feelings of unworthiness or inadequacy in their own lives. Narcissists frequently aim to diminish your self-esteem, believing that by pulling you into their emotional turmoil, they will elevate their own sense of self-worth. It's crucial to realize that if you begin to accept their negative portrayals of you, it can lead to an extended, painful journey. Embracing their distorted view of your identity makes it significantly more challenging to break free from the trauma and codependency that often characterize these relationships. This creates an ongoing cycle of emotional pain that can be extremely difficult to escape. Recovery begins with altering your perspective. If you found yourself enamored with a narcissist, you'd essentially become attached to someone concealing their true self. This means that much of what you believed to be positive in the relationship was likely influenced by their manipulative tendencies. Once you recognize this truth, it becomes easier to discern what is genuinely healthy for you versus what was a result of their toxicity. Initially, embracing this new viewpoint may prove difficult. You might resist the idea that their perception of you is false, but it's essential to look beyond their words and actions. Speaking from personal experience, I once believed I wasn't adequate enough. I exerted immense effort to make the relationship succeed, hoping to alter their perception of me. However, as the relationship became increasingly toxic, I began to uncover the reality. The narcissist was intentionally isolating me and undermining my reputation through a smear campaign. They sought to diminish me so they could retain control and manipulate those around me. Another subtle strategy often employed by narcissists is the smear campaign, which frequently goes unnoticed. Their intention is to sever your connections with others. By attacking your reputation, they create a false narrative that colors how everyone perceives you, no matter where you go. This malicious tactic aims to undermine your self-worth and social interactions. The narcissist seeks not only to isolate you, but also to incite a phenomenon known as reactive abuse. They are eager to witness your reactions to their fabrications and insults, allowing them to manipulate the situation so they appear to be the victim while maintaining control over the narrative. When a narcissist claims you are inadequate or that you don't live up to their standards, it's essential to recognize that they are merely projecting their insecurities onto you. They harbor feelings of inadequacy and want you to internalize those emotions. This is why it's vital to see beyond their facade. Once you understand that their comments reflect their own struggles rather than any truth about you, distancing yourself from their influence becomes much simpler. After a breakup, it's common to witness the narcissist displaying a facade of joy and achievement, but this is typically just a mask. They might inundate social media with images and updates about their seemingly flawless life, capturing every meal, outing, and mundane moment of supposed happiness. If they weren't particularly active online while you were together, this sudden obsession with sharing their life can feel strange. Their intention is clear. They want you to view this contrived happiness and believe they are flourishing without your presence. In reality, this behavior is a tactic to distract from their inner turmoil and manipulate how others view them. As you navigate your recovery, it's essential to resist the urge to check their online activity. In my experience, doing so brings only unnecessary heartache and confusion. I offer this perspective not because I have all the solutions, but because I faced similar challenges. We are all in this together, and by sharing our experiences, we can help one another heal. Additionally, understanding that narcissists face their own set of struggles is important. They often rely heavily on others for validation. While sensitive individuals and empaths work through their emotional hurdles, narcissists are driven by an insatiable need for approval. They seek affirmation from various people, but frequently find that no one else can provide the same sense of validation that you did. When they realize that their new sources of admiration are lacking, frustration can set in, and they may try to reconnect with you. Often, we hinder our own healing by pleading for a narcissist to come back into our lives. This pattern can significantly harm our emotional well-being. Recently, I encountered a comment that struck a chord and reminded me of the valuable insights we can gain from one another. As empaths, we share a collective journey, bound by similar experiences, even if our views on integrity differ from those of narcissists. Some individuals are more attuned to this dynamic than others, but we are all members of the same community. Reflecting on my past, I recall feeling utterly drained towards the conclusion of my relationship with a narcissist. Juggling demanding work hours and coping with the emotional strain of the relationship left me fatigued. I would often fall asleep, only to be ridiculed for it. The narcissist would remark, "Oh, you're falling asleep again." At that moment, I was genuinely exhausted from long shifts, yet I failed to recognize their manipulation. While I sought rest, they engaged in behaviors that depleted my energy further. I recently came across a comment discussing how narcissists frequently induce sleep deprivation, and it resonated deeply with me. I realized they were intentionally preventing me from getting the rest I needed, which in turn impacted my ability to function. There were numerous nights filled with arguments or intense discussions that left me anxious and wide awake. My sleeplessness wasn't due to substances like drugs or alcohol, but rather the emotional turmoil. The following day, I struggled to make it through work, often relying on energy drinks to stay alert. This illustrated a classic example of the harmful strategies narcissists employ. If I hadn't taken a moment to reflect on their actions, I might have continued to think they were merely worried about my fatigue. The reality was far more sinister. It was a calculated effort to keep me drained and disoriented. To achieve authentic recovery, understanding the perspective of a narcissist is crucial. Yet this insight requires us to create emotional space. This doesn't mean we should become indifferent to everyone, especially fellow empaths or those we genuinely care about. Rather, it involves establishing emotional limits with narcissists and others who display similar behaviors. Our ability to safeguard ourselves and regain autonomy in our lives depends on distancing ourselves emotionally from them. When we stop getting emotionally entangled with a narcissist, we can perceive their actions more clearly. By stepping away from feelings of affection and compassion, we can recognize their behavioral patterns without the interference of our emotions. I recall occasions when I felt compelled to apologize for dozing off after exhausting work shifts. I would say, "I'm sorry for falling asleep," even though I was utterly drained after a grueling 12-hour shift. Now I recognize that I shouldn't have felt the need to express remorse for simply being fatigued. Their comments were part of a calculated strategy to instill feelings of guilt and inadequacy in me. Understanding that they intentionally kept me deprived of rest has clarified their manipulative tactics. That's why I encourage you to adopt similar approaches during your healing process. When a narcissist belittles you or makes you feel inferior, it typically stems from their own insecurities. They project their feelings of inadequacy onto you in a desperate attempt to elevate themselves. This behavior originates from their profound feelings of inferiority, compelling them to undermine others to enhance their self-worth. In my situation, the narcissist engaged in a vicious smear campaign against me. This wasn't merely a few untruths. It was a strategic attempt to ruin my reputation. Such smear tactics aim not only to tarnish your image, but also to elicit a response. Once you start to accept their distorted narratives, you become ensnared in their web of deceit. Understanding that this conduct equates to character assassination reveals their true intentions. Narcissists frequently seek to elicit what is known as reactive abuse. Their goal is to provoke intense emotional reactions from you, which can lead to impulsive actions with severe consequences. Many individuals who have experienced narcissistic abuse find themselves facing difficult situations, including legal issues or mental health challenges. This underscores how emotionally damaging narcissists can be. We must recognize that we are engaging with manipulative individuals who often harbor negative intentions. To shield yourself, it's vital to stop viewing the situation through a lens of compassion or affection. You can no longer afford to empathize with them. It's time to embrace a more detached perspective. Setting firm boundaries and practicing emotional detachment are essential when interacting with a narcissist. It's helpful to approach discussions neutrally, showing little emotion to avoid getting emotionally entangled. For ongoing interactions, like in co-parenting situations, the gray rock technique, where you remain as uninteresting and unresponsive as possible, can be useful. This method works best when conversations don't involve important topics about your child, as effective communication is still crucial for co-parenting. Narcissists often react to breakups differently from others. Initially, they may feel relief or excitement, but this quickly turns into feelings of loss. They may seek new relationships to fill the emotional gap, but often realize that those new connections don't match the fulfillment they had with you. This leads them to experience regret and sorrow, recognizing they can't easily replace what they once had. Understanding your worth is crucial in the healing process. Narcissists act out of their own insecurities, belittling and playing emotional games to keep you from recognizing your true value. They fear you'll find someone who can provide the love and support they can't offer, and this fear drives their manipulative behavior. By seeing through their tactics, you can reclaim your self-esteem and move forward. Thanks for staying until the end. Remember, the narcissist may have thought they won, but in reality, they're paying the price for losing someone as valuable as you. Their carefully crafted facade can only hide their struggles for so long. While they might move on with new connections or flashy displays, their inner turmoil is unavoidable, and you're no longer part of that chaos. As empaths, we must rise above their projections and manipulations. Your journey of self-worth, healing, and growth is far more powerful than their temporary victories. So keep standing strong, because your success is the ultimate justice. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more insights on healing, personal growth, and overcoming narcissistic relationships. Leave your thoughts in the comments below and share your experiences with the community. Your story could inspire someone else. See you in the next one. Stay empowered. Thanks for anyone who donate to our Ko-Fi page. For those who feel compelled to contribute, consider supporting us on Ko-Fi with a donation as small as $1. Your support enables us to continue producing content that makes a difference. Look for the Ko-Fi link in the description below.